Word up for the difference tonight. And if you give a shit about audio ambiance and an acoustically pleasing environment for sound recordings and podcasts, get the fuck on out of here. Because as you can hear, we're in the van riding home, and I just, as always, am thinking these thoughts and living these dreams as I go along. So here's the deal. I instantly solved, over the course of maybe 4 minutes, the ending argument for any body of discussion concerning the legalization of marijuana. If you cannot govern and administrate the legalization and use of marijuana, recreational or medical marijuana, as a government, especially the government of the United States, in 2016, with all the programs and bureaucracy that are in place for every fucking nook and cranny of how this is run, then you're really just putting on a sham, aren't you? You're just dragging it out for other than logical reasons, which is not the power you're given by the Constitution. It's not about your personal feelings, it's about the facts, Jack. Mr. Smith went to Washington once on film, and I feel like never has it happened in real life. My babe told me about an opportunity to have the fees and the donations paid to run for Congress in your state if you're willing enough and able enough, and I just realized I'm more than able. You know what, man? Don't let my boisterous tone to sort of mask the sound here for this impromptu nature of this speech and monologue fool you. I'm here to do business, and this is an area which could zap the concern. It could totally destroy all the concern and buzz and wasted time discussing this on the floor of the Senate and the House when there are other, much more important, much more pressing matters at hand. Check it out. Who is the problem in each of these 50 states, respectively? Who is this problem belonging to in the United States of America today with the distribution and consumption of marijuana recreationally for your average citizens? The people like, definitely not me, of course, but so many people like me, not only in my generation, but those that came before me and those who have come after me. Smoking weed and watching TV, playing video games, cruising around, going to the store, snacking, buying food and drinks at convenience stores, and cigarettes and booze worldwide so that we can keep our buzz on and we can feel good about this or that. Now, who's the problem? Is it us buying the weed and smoking it, or is it the people that sell it that aren't the government, that don't have nice, straightforward dispensaries that you have to meet on their terms to buy weed? And that might not always be to your advantage, and sometimes can lead to violence. Sorry for that close-up. Can sometimes lead to violence. I was scratching my nose. Don't bother me about it. Just keep listening to what I'm talking about for a minute here, please. It's those people that bring guns, that bring weapons to a drug deal in which you're just trying to buy some weed. You probably have a girlfriend or a boyfriend or a wife or a husband at home. You might have kids at home. You might be in your mid to late 20s, mid 30s, just living a normal, average life, smoking weed on the side because you did as a teenager, introduced to it, however, but it's not a violent thing. It's not a necessary thing for you. You smoke weed because it's chill. You know what, man? If weed wasn't worth smoking, why in the name of 7 devils do you think that it's prescribed by medical professionals for the easing of pain in the roughest of times, in often the terminal phases of a human's life? What up, G? How's it bad for us? How are you arguing this at all? How are you arguing about the kids? You know what? Here you go. You can get your permit to smoke weed at 16, just like you get your license. And I feel like as an adult, I would be entirely capable of taking an altered state driving exam, both, there's only a practical exam. But you know what, dude, like, how easy is that? Let's have a closed course. We've got them all over the place. We'll simulate traffic. I guarantee you 100% of people that have smoked half to a whole joint or their own legal limit for marijuana that they will accept, that they would get in a car and drive to the store. Again, stimulate the economy by buying chips and drinks. snacks of all kinds and desserts and cigarettes and booze to keep our buzz going. And that's sort of what we'll do. We'll drive around and you'll see 100% of people pass that test, because I'm a better driver when I'm high than 98.12% of the population sober. Whew! Had to get those facts out at the end there, man. And that's not a polled question or point of discussion. That's just my admission that people that smoke weed tend to be driving around not getting into accidents unless they're super stoned. And then, yes, that's the same as people who are drunk, literally really drunk, really fucking smashed, that drive around and kill people and end families and ruin lives without regard, because they were caught up in a stupid, incredibly selfish, lazy moment that they put it at risk and they failed, like so many do every year. But I feel like there's alcoholics out there, and you might even know one, that have a blood alcohol level of 0.2 at all times of the day, and drive around, and the only reason they get pulled over in like 20 or 30 years is because they had a taillight out or they punched their wife in the face, and the cops are looking for him. They're like, "Oh, and you happen to be driving drunk?" He's like, "No, I'm sober, man. My blood alcohol is, my BAC is only 1.2 there, Junior. Get the hell back in your car. I'm out of here, man." Well, okay, wait. So, I mean, this was really a bid for Congress, but that's the end-all, be-all. If you're prescribing it for medical reasons, there's no reason you shouldn't prescribe it for legitimate recreational purposes. And I mean, don't argue with me about age and age being 16 and all that nonsense. Like, that's all aesthetics. That's all, don't split hairs with me. Weed is good, and it's been good for thousands and thousands of not just years, but generations. Passed down through many cultures, dude. That's why people smoking weed aren't, committing terrorist acts. I guarantee you there ain't one stoner in ISIS. There ain't one fucking stoner in ISIS. Guaranteed. That'll be my slogan. Hashtag ISIS needs stoners. But they ain't gonna get them, because we know better. We know that, if you're smoking weed, you're thinking about the world and existence and the fabric of stuff. Down to any level, from the broadest to the narrowest spectrum, because that's what your brain focuses on when it's, kind of chilling, man. When you're smoking, you're high. Get away from me when I'm trying to play video games, when I'm trying to watch Netflix, when I'm trying to read manga, when I am making video games, when I'm writing storyboards, when I'm recording podcasts and making YouTube videos. Get the fuck off my back. If you're one of the people who's like, marijuana shouldn't be legal, it's terrible for people, this is god awful. But I think, there's a scale of congressional caliber that an individual needs to get in there. And I highly encourage anybody listening to this, whether you're a person that I shared this to or somehow got it through the network, it popped up on YouTube or wherever you see it, because you're going to see it, I hope, eventually. Because it makes a whole lot of damn sense. There's no reason you can give me. If you're giving it to some people, you should definitely be giving it to everybody. All the people who should, as cognitive human beings, be able to partake of a mind-altering substance in their own home and their personal life. And, you got no facts to back it up with, because it's compounded by the idea entirely that if you're the government and you're the people who are deciding what's right and wrong, what do you see being the problem with you being the ones selling marijuana? There could be Walmart-sized U.S. government marijuana dispensary facilities from all of the marijuana we confiscate on a yearly basis to keep everyone smoking and happy that wanted to spend their money and stimulate the economy for shit you got for free. And you're saying what? What is your moral grounds for saying this ain't right? If alcohol is legal, weed should definitely be legal. Guaranteed. How many deaths are caused by marijuana consumption every year, stacked against how many deaths caused by alcohol consumption? Point blank, I'm not saying make alcohol illegal. I'm saying make weed legal. Make weed legal. Make weed legal. This is fucking America, and if you're gonna stand on the Constitution and the roots that provides you in moral and ideological authority to continue to be a government, nobody wants to start a revolution. We just want shit to be better. That's what Americans are like. That doesn't mean you should keep just piling on, taking advantage. At least take advantage of us in ways that sort of at least benefits us, or benefits us a lot. And weed is an easy one. You want people to stop grumbling? Here you go. You want cops and black people to stop killing each other? You want that to happen everywhere across the country? Everybody start getting high. Everybody start fucking smoking weed. Cops will not be unable to show up to a call not involving violence, because there's not going to be any violence. Nobody's going to smoke weed. You're not tweaking out on green, beating people up and running naked through subways and blowing shit up and shooting and stabbing people. I mean, that's reserved for Molly. That's reserved for meth and cocaine, yeah. And, interestingly enough, not LSD. Because if the government really wanted to make some good LSD shit, you want to mind control us, it seems we're already pretty handled. Because I'm here talking about how I should be a senator so we could get some sense made about marijuana. About giving people something they want at no risk to us, nearly at absolutely no cost to us, and at huge benefit to us as a national treasury. And God forbid I took almost 12 minutes to give you my point of view. But if you want somebody sitting in the Senate that's going to look at people who are trying to attach bills about commercial development and business deals and, the general shady, underhanded dealings that seem to go down all over our government, let me at least be sitting there and be the one who will grab the mic and be like, hey, for YouTube and the world and everybody at home, my fellow American citizens, these people are full of shit. These people are absolutely full of shit on this one. You should see all of the stuff that's involved in this bill. It's not just marijuana. They have all kinds of money dealings on the side. That's why nobody's voting on it. Because a video like this will make sense to everybody, won't it? And if everybody, maybe threw up a representative that was a real person instead of a politician, we wouldn't be voting between Trump and Hillary.